Financial Style on New Style Radio 98.7 FM. Making money makes sense.
This morning, one such guest that's here to motivate and inspire is Ali Evering. She has a corporate background of about 30 years, which included time working as an account manager, but she's now in a space and place where she's wanting to offer money to BME businesses and women in business in particular, but others also, and I'm very pleased to say that she's joined us in the studio this morning. Good morning, Ali, how are you?
Good morning, Marisha, and thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here.
You're very, very welcome. So, before we get into your current offerings, tell us a little bit about your background and what brought you to this space.
Okay, I mean, you've touched on that a little bit, yes. So, unfortunately, when you said 30 years, that really aged me.
I'm sorry.
It's absolutely
I actually
fine.
know how you feel.
Do you know, you sort of look back at your work history, and then as you start to accumulate the years, you realise 30 years has passed, and you're still young, but obviously that sort of ages you. So yeah, no.
I may well take that out the edit, because when we look at you, that we don't see 30 years.
Thanks, Michelle.
So I apologise. Bearing in mind that when people do that to me, I'm looking at them like this, like side eye, like really, did you just blow me up at it? I apologise.
That's absolutely fine though, thank you. So as you said, I've been in the corporate world. I've been an underwriter and an account manager for most of my life. Lots of corporate businesses, so lending finance to SMEs, but more larger organisations, just analysing, interpreting their financials, finding out whether they have the background to lend fleets of vehicles to. So some of my clients have been as small as the lend has been as small as 30,000 and as large as 750,000. So that's my background. I'm a wife and a mother of two busy young girls, and at this point now I'm working for CWRT, that's Coventry and Warwickshire Reinvestment Trust, and they've given me the opportunity to reach to the community and actually focus on women-led businesses and also BMEs, which I'm quite passionate about. I believe we've got a lot of ideas in our community, and we need to strive to find the finance to actually support that. And my company, and there are a couple of others, I'll give you website details later of where people can actually look into the access of finance. We're trying to support that, so that's why I'm here today. So yes, that's who I am, that's what I'm about.
Okay, so one thing that I picked up in talking to you is actually how passionate you are when it comes to, as you say, women in business,
yes,
as well as BME businesses. Talk to me a little bit about sort of how you've arrived at that. You know, where does that passion come from?
Okay, so I'm sure probably there's a lot of women out there who perhaps feel the same. They saw their mother come to this country, work in a factory for all the hours just to try and pay the bills, put food on the table, and we're the next generation. So I believe that as women and also the generation coming up, we have a better understanding of business ideas. We've got clearer support to find finance. There's business support there. We can do better than our parents did, and that's why they came here. That's why they sacrificed and did the jobs that they did. So yeah, and as I say, I've got two young girls, and I see the system, I see the school system, the education system, and I know that perhaps education, as important as it is, isn't for everybody. Being an entrepreneur can sometimes help that. If somebody's not particularly brilliant academically, perhaps being an entrepreneur and running their own business is another area where they can succeed and actually get self-fulfillment. So yeah.
So what do you perceive is the challenge for some women in business? It's interesting actually, because even as part of your bio, one of the things you said about your grandmother is that she was called a higgler.
Yes.
I loved that. It just brought back so many memories when you said that. So what do you think some of the challenges for women in business really are?
Yeah, I think perhaps self-belief that they can do that, and they're not just somebody at home to prepare the dinners and sort of sort the house out. That actually there's another avenue they can take, and running the household, income and expenditure, all those things are aspects within business that actually, as simple as it is, those are the ingredients that makes a good business. Understanding where money's coming in, how it's going out. Sourcing revenue from just talking to other people, trying to secure sales from other people, and just sort of, you know, building that community base and feel to try and support a business. So we already have those ingredients, our mothers have those ingredients, we just need to put them into place now, find out where we can source finance if we need it, and just get on with it.
Indeed, and being the mother of, as you say, two young, busy girls, how does that colour your view on how we should be preparing young women, as well as women in general?
Yeah, I think that for me anyway, I'm sure it doesn't apply for everybody, but I think gone are the days when we need to get our careers, but also think, well, actually, I'm going to get a husband, so, you know, when I have my children, I'll be absolutely fine. I don't really need to focus on my career. I'll just, you know, do as best as I can, and then I'll have a husband who can support me. But actually, those days I think are gone, and as much as a husband or a partner is there to support you, as a woman, you need to be able to have your own life, your own aspirations, your own way of fulfilling your own goals in life. And if you're with somebody, fine, but if you're not somebody, you're still fulfilling your own prophecies. So yeah, that's quite important.
No, I find that quite interesting in terms of your view. So you come from a corporate background, as we
Yes.
say, and yet still you show so much passion and interest for supporting women that are actually and BME businesses that are actually entrepreneurial. So is that something that also came from the fact that you've been in a corporate environment, you know, where you see maybe what some of the challenges are, and you think entrepreneurship is the way?
Yeah, I think that it tends to be quite focused. I think when you're in the corporate industry, the type of customers I would see are not the type of customers I see now. So yeah, I think to a certain extent, you know, there were some areas of society who were excluded from that for whatever reason. So yeah, I want to be able to be in a position to help everybody. Being a woman myself, obviously that's my passion, but BMEs, because that's who I am, Afro-Caribbean, yes, I just think there's we need to unlock the key to the finance and be able to support ourselves, and yeah, be greater and better as a community.
Sounds good. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty then. In terms of the offering that's available from Coventry and Warwickshire Reinvestment Trust, how does that work, and how can people engage with it?
Okay, so Coventry and Warwickshire Reinvestment Trust was founded in 2002. It's a not-for-profit charity. We're backed by local councils, Coventry City Council, Warwickshire City Council, and a couple of other local support groups, in being able to fund business who perhaps can't get finance on the high street. So we're a secondary lender, so we're not your, I won't name the names, we're not the high street banks, but we're the next people you should come to, as opposed to going to the other rogue finance people who I won't name either, but I'm sure everybody knows. So we have two arms to our business. We have Coventry Reinvestment Trust, where we lend to local businesses with a strong focus on trying to sustain employment in the local area. So we want people to be self-sufficient. So if they've got a good business idea, we're there to support them. If they can't get funding on the high street, we can support them. The other branch to us is the startup side, which is the startup loans, which I briefly mentioned to you before. So that is a national initiative, and that was started in 2010 by the present government to try and support people, again, who wanted to sustain themselves and who had a good idea but didn't quite know what to do or where to unlock the finance. And they are there to focus on all areas of the country, and they've got an excellent interest rate, they've got good support, good business support, good mentoring, good guidance that will help anybody who's got a good idea. So that's the other arm to our business, and that's the area that I'm trying to appeal to today. So anybody in Birmingham who has a good idea, and if they're not sure what to do, what the next step is, then we are the first point of contact. I've got a couple of other links that I will recommend people onto as well in Birmingham, which will help. But that's what we do.
So what do you think are the common mistakes that people make when they are applying for money?
Okay, so I mean, if you don't need money, then perhaps you don't need to go through all this process. But if you do need finance and you haven't got the finances to support your business idea, you need to ask yourself realistically the money that you're asking to lend. Could you repay that if the business failed? And nobody wants to think, when you've got a good idea, you're so excited about it, you don't want to think the business failed. But actually, that's a fact. I think, as we all know, 1 in 3 businesses does fail within the first couple of years of trading. And there's a couple of reasons why. Well, there's many reasons, but a couple of the main ones are cash flow. You've got a big order, get the order out, but the actual person you supplied it to doesn't pay you in time in order for you to pay your bills. And then also just developing your business. You haven't got the cash to get in, the stock that you need. So we need to be realistic there. And if it does fail for those reasons, although it's probably a very good business idea, can you repay that, with your existing commitments, your mortgage payments, or your other commitments? Can you do that? Because ultimately, that is what will happen. The money will, if you can't pay that, the money will have to come from you somehow. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is research. Research is key. Having a business idea is great. Running it past friends and family is absolutely fantastic, but actually you do need independent research, so from strangers. There's so many tools out there on the internet that you can use, that you can actually pull people in to actually research your product and actually prove the model and prove the business model that it actually works. Friends and family are very supportive, and I'm not saying anything about that, but I think that you do need an objective point of view to actually look at it without any rose tinted glasses, just the bare facts. And then thirdly, I've put in here bankruptcy. Again, going back to point number 1, that ultimately if you can't pay the loan, the business doesn't go as you'd expected. There's a fact that you could become bankrupt, you could lose your home. It affects you, and if you've got a family, it affects everybody. And lastly, I've just put here, perhaps not a pitfall, but just really having not just a plan A for your business, but a plan B, C, D, lots of different plans, just backups, just in case it doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I love the fact that you say not just a plan B, C, D, E. Yes, that is the life of entrepreneurship. You've always got to have a plan, or be prepared to
Yes.
plan in place if the original one doesn't go to plan.
Yes.
And we know what they say about the best laid plans. So how should people present themselves to you? Because there may be people out there thinking, well, listen, I hear what you're saying, I've got a great idea, I have run it past maybe a couple of people who are going to be objective and honest with me and tell me if it's a load of rubbish, and they're telling me it's good, but what do I do next?
Okay, so you can sketch out, as simple as it is, just sketch out a diagram just with your product, your service, and just a few little ideas around how this business is going to work. You also, there's a couple of links here. I've got a couple of links to people who can help you with that as well. I've got the Greater Birmingham Growth Hub. We've got a very similar Coventry Growth Hub, who are basically, what they do is they're a signpost organisation. They're a government-backed organisation. They're there for business support. So if you go to them, you've got a simple idea and you say, I want to make children's clothes. They can actually put you in touch with people that can help to support you as regards to where you get the products from, as regards to marketing those things, social media, all those type of things. They can signpost you to getting organisations to help you put that all together and make a realistic budget of how much you're actually going to need for finance. So they're a good source. Another source of research you could go to if you've got a business idea is the Birmingham Library. I was referred on to them from one of our mentors who we work with. They've got an extensive research online of all type of businesses. There's hundreds of businesses. So if you want to run a cafe, you can join, as long as you've got a Birmingham Library card. I believe this is how you join. You can go on, and there's a section called Cobweb, C-O-B-W-E web. And within that, you can put in cafe, you can also put in the demographic of the area that you're looking for to break that down, and it will give you lots of facts and figures, how much you need, what sort of products you need, where to source things from, and it's all free, so please do use that. And finally, there's another website, just one more website. It's the Responsible Finance website. They were previously the Community Development Finance Association. They are another government-backed organisation. and they can give you lots of tips and signposts again in trying to find finance, but also about your product. What's the first thing you must do? They will actually signpost you towards that.
Okay, and what about people that may think, listen, okay, I can do all of that, I'll get the research done. Maybe they're worried about credit ratings or actually, you know, some of the logistical sides of actually applying for the money.
Yes, and what I would say to that is actually the credit report is absolutely key. So this is all part of the you've got your business idea, but this is all part of the pre-application. So not even thinking about applying for finance at this stage, you need to get your credit report. You need to actually have a look at it, don't guess, have a look at it, be realistic, go through it. There may be something wrong on there because any finance company will have a look at that and make an assessment of that as to how you're paying your current credit commitments, what's happened in the past. And although we as a business, Coventry and Warwickshire Reinvestment Trust, do not use credit scoring, we base our decisions on a number of factors. But of course, one of the factors will be how you pay your current credit commitments. So get a copy. There's a couple of the major agencies. There's Equifax, Experian. There's a new player into the market called Nodal.com. It's completely free. Just go and have a look. If there's something wrong, get it corrected. And then from there, you can say to yourself, right, how can I repair this? You know, if there's a couple of things outstanding you didn't realise about, at least you can contact them, make some arrangements and pay them. And that's what lenders need to see, that you haven't just left something because of your circumstances at the time, that you're actually, whether it's £1 you pay back a week or whatever, you're trying to repair it, you're trying to get back on track. And that's really important. So please, if there's one thing you can take from this interview today, just get your report, have a look at it, be honest with yourself, and just try and repair it if there's anything wrong with it. We all have ups and downs in life, all of us. So just have a look at it and repair it.
Okay, and how do we get hold of you then, for the people that go, right, got all of that covered, now I want to go and see Ali?
Okay, so on our website, which is www.cwrt.uk.com, there's lots of resources on there. There's also a contact button, so you can just put your details in and get through to us. Also, our phone number is 024 76 551 777. So please just do get in contact. Myself and my colleague Leah and my other colleague Andrew, we're all loans officers. We'd be happy to talk anything through. Don't be embarrassed about anything. Just if you've got a good idea, let's just talk and let's take it from there. We can signpost you to different places that you perhaps have not dealt with before, but we can help to support your idea.
Lovely. And I always ask our guests for a final thought. So what would be the final thing that you would want to leave with our listeners today in terms of their approach to financing their businesses?
Don't see it as scary. I think that it's exciting having a new business and having a new idea and having something that's unique, that perhaps is going to be a legacy for yourself, your children, whomever. It's really exciting. Don't let the finance put you off. If you break it down, if you speak to an organisation like ourselves or any of the other responsible lenders organisation, you will be able to see that it's not as difficult as you see. So please get in contact. One final website, Marisha, if I can, I'm not sure if I mentioned it before, and that's the Responsible Finance website, which is responsiblefinance.org. Please go on there, have a look. There's lenders in your area who are happy to talk to you, just like we are with Coventry. Please do get in contact with them.
Ali Evering, thank you so much for your time today. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks, Marisha.
And thank you for sharing that information with us. Where you will find all of the information on our website so that you can follow the links there. And for those of you that think, hey, do you know what? I reckon I've got a decent idea. Go and speak to someone like Ali. Not only is she passionate about helping you, but she's also got the tools and can signpost you in the right direction to get your business started. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Marisha.